Welcome to Lecture 2, Finding Your Niche. You don't have to have a niche to be a successful freelance writer online, so don't let anyone tell you that you do. But boy, has it helped me out in a lot of ways, so I feel it only fair to tell you about it. Don't make the mistake of thinking that if you decide to specialise in a particular topic or area, by the way, of online writing, that you have to stick rigidly to it. You don't. So instead, sort of view having a niche as your core business that naturally could change direction as your writing career develops. The main benefit of having a niche as a freelance writer online is that you'll come to be seen by clients as an expert in your particular field, and that means more prestige and job satisfaction. So roughly translated into something you really want to hear, that means you'll earn more money. If you already have an idea as to what niche or niches you might explore, then we're going to assess your skills, experiences and interests in this lecture to make sure you're on the right track. The opportunities for online writers are endless, and while this might sound like great news for you in your life's calling, it also means that writers leap blindfolded doing whatever work they can get their eager little hands on. So while this scatter approach can work for a while, it's certainly no way to build up a healthy living as a freelance writer in the long term. So if the goal is to write for a living, instead of trying to juggle a mismatch of writing work with your day job, then a different approach is clearly needed. So the online writing marketplace, it's become a bit confused lately. It's become a bit congested. And frankly, in certain places, it's become bland. People only offer $2 per article jobs on Content Mills and certain other freelance writing sites because there are people willing to do them. And contrary to popular belief, these people aren't always in the countries where their low living costs justify such a wage. By not concentrating on a niche, or several niches, as I said before, you could risk casting your net too widely and trying to speak to everyone so that no one can actually hear you. Think about it this way. If you were to stand in a large hall the size of a football stadium and it was packed full of people chatting, some shouting, some just chatting away amongst themselves, do you really think that anyone would actually hear you? Of course they wouldn't, but that is what you're effectively doing if you decide to just to pitch for any old work and hope for the best. So if you've already dipped your toe into the world of freelance writing online, then you've probably been a bit guilty of this scatter approach to looking for work. And actually in the bonus ebook that I give away with this course, if you're starting from scratch, that's how you've got to start. You know, you've got to do the work to get the clips and to get that portfolio. And we've all been there. Eventually though, you're going to have to find a bit of a focus. So having a niche will not only firm up in your own mind what you want out of your writing career and propel you towards your ultimate goals, it will also let potential clients know what you're all about and that you mean business. In other words, they'll know you're the real deal. You need to develop a niche and position yourself firmly, then make sure it's reflected in everything you do and in every word you write, whether that be on your About Me page or in a pitch to a client or possibly in a quick update on social media. So remember this as you go through this course. There is plenty of work out there for freelance writers who are looking to make a living online. But the problem is most people are looking for it in just a few of the same places. And these are far from the most lucrative options. Okay, so if you find your niche, you can confidently pitch to clients. You don't have to compete with all the other writers pitching for the same work. And what's more, you'll come across as an expert and a professional in your area of expertise. So let's look at a few niche topics. Some writers, like me, focus on a particular subject or a topic that they have a lot of experience in and enjoy writing about. So my core niche is travel, and by focusing on this, I've worked my way up to blogging for some of the biggest travel companies in the world. I blog for TripAdvisor, Viator, Flight Centre, people like that. But I don't only write for travel websites. I earn my living by writing about all sorts of things, but travel is still my niche. So it's what I enjoy writing about and what I have an in-depth knowledge of, and it's what I write about the most. But I even leverage the benefits of this core niche of travel when pitching to clients that aren't in that travel industry. So by mentioning the well-known travel giants I work for and pointing out a few links to my work on high-profile websites, I communicate to clients in other niches that I'm reliable, hardworking and highly competent. At all commodities you have to pay a premium to experience, of course. So I've no doubt that if I'd never concentrated so hard on a particular niche, I would have acquired that level of work to show off to potential clients. So there are niche topics, but there are also niche mediums. And what do I mean by this? So throughout this course, you'll be pitching for work that only involves writing for the web, and that in itself is a niche. But you can drill this down even further. Once you get started, you may find you've got a particular knack and a demand for communicating small businesses' messages with the website pages you write. Perhaps you find clients love your press releases, so you decided to focus on that as your niche instead. Either way, the type of writing you offer can be turned into a niche just as much as which topics you write about. So what's the next step? You need to get focused. You need to hone in on a particular mission, an angle, a market, a topic, an approach, or a style. You need to find your sweet spot, your niche, your true and specific calling when it comes to online writing. So the actions in this lecture will enable you to unearth these sorts of things. But remember, finding your niche may happen naturally and may well change as your writing career takes off. But by working through these exercises now, you will have a decent head start compared to those flailing around sending proposals for the same old jobs on freelancing sites. So please go to your actions worksheet 2 and get started thinking about your own niches.